oh, I don't really want to do this show. I don't know why, Kev. It's nothing personal.
It's all right.
You know, some days you feel it. And you come into the pool shed and you're like, you know what? We're going to rock this show tonight. And some days you're like, you know, this is a struggle. It's a struggle to get started. It's a struggle to think about. Struggle to do. But I got to do it. I made a commitment to my listeners and to our queen, Jen Husko, the only Patreon subscriber.
Doing this for
I actually now, so much time has passed in our Patreon efforts.
Yeah.
Where we've just had the one, Jen Husko, who immediately, when there was a call to action for Patreon, Jen Husko went right at it. She did it.
No hesitation.
No hesitation. I'm going to be a supporter of this program. And then we make her the queen. We make a big deal about it. She's paying us exactly $120 a year. And she's not in the cheapest plan. She's in our like middle plan, Yeah,
she's a good woman.
And $10 a month is what she's paid. And for that $10 a month, we'll make a show just catered to her every whim. She gets exclusive content that's just for her. She has been labeled our queen, right?
Yes.
For $120.
A mere $120.
That's how big of whores we are. As for $120, we'll do all that stuff for you because we're an absolute whore. And so we'd said all that and still one Patreon supporter. And now, after all these weeks, I don't want another Patreon supporter. I don't want anyone to go to patreon.com/DutchHall. I do not want them to.
I don't blame you.
I want one Patreon supporter, Jen Husko. She's our queen. There's not room for more than one queen.
Nope.
And now, if there is somebody that throws some money at that, they want to throw on the queen, or they want to like make the conversation interesting. Now, all of a sudden, maybe I have to eat my words. Maybe I take it back. But at this moment, I don't want it to happen. I only want one Patreon person, and it's Jen, and we're going to make this show for $120 a year. And that's fine. We're going to do it.
Less than a cup of coffee a day.
Yeah. That's how you make this quality programming. But there's only one way to get this program started, no matter how much you pay, and that's by playing a little thing we call the theme song.
Man down.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dutch Hall. This is going to be a great show tonight. We're in the pool shed. We're in Pine Grove. We're the funniest pool shed ever to come. No, we're the funniest podcast ever come out of pool shed in Pine Grove. Whatever. We're that. And we're here in our pool shed. Just me, little old me, and the man sitting next to me that's running the board. Kevin Van Dungeon, everybody. Give us a hand.
Thank you.
And I'd be remiss if we didn't at least introduce our robot compatriot, who's been quite quiet, and I don't even care. I'm happy that he's quiet.
Yeah.
But Robot Dave, everyone, give him a hand.
Thanks a lot, Pete.
Robot Dave, I'm okay. We've had a strained relationship lately. He has been on my nerves, and I've actually disconnected his neck.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, is it? Well, yeah. Last week you had an opportunity, Dave. You had an opportunity. We had Ryan and Lisa Vandenbush here. They're talking about this experience where it changed their life. Ryan's talking about little Mexican people that are like detoxing his whole psyche or whatever, his history. And you have one thing to say.
I don't have a soft spot for Mexicans.
That's what you should have said. You're a week late, Dave. A week late.
Yeah, what's your problem, man?
Yeah, well, that's my problem. It would have been funny if you said it at the time. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, and I'm your host and two-time President's Club Award winner, Pete Van Dyke, everyone. We got a great show tonight. I am in the middle of Olympic fever, Kevin. Olympic fever. I have it big time.
What's your event?
My event is everything. I like the fact that I'm going to do this. I like the fact that the Olympics are going on, like they're actually going on. And when you're like watching streaming stuff all the time, nothing's going on.
It's live.
Like the only thing you can watch live that's going on when you're not watching the old dinosaur television is the news, maybe. And the news is terrible. Right?
Depressing.
Yeah, it's all bad news. They don't do news where there's good stuff happening.
Yep.
Or in sports, when sports is happening, then it's exciting and there's good stuff happening. For every tragedy, there's a victory.
Always someone wins.
Yeah. So I like the stories. I like the stories of all these Olympians who have to overcome all these incredible odds, and the people that come from these small countries, and there's been so many great stories this Olympics. I've been watching a lot of the track events. I really, really love the racing.
The running.
All the running I like. And I watched the Jamaican women sweep the podium in the 100-meter for the women.
Wow.
It was awesome. I watched Canada beat the United States in soccer.
I heard.
Unbelievable.
Going to the finals?
What?
Are we going to the finals?
Yeah, we're going to the finals. We're going to play Sweden, I believe. Sweden.
Sweden, a soccer powerhouse?
Well, they beat the States in the round robin, and they also beat the States a couple of years ago too. So they've been pretty deep. They're a pretty good soccer team, and Canada in the game against the United States, they were outclassed, totally outclassed by the U.S. The U.S. is like a way better soccer team.
Right.
They just got so many more stars than what Canada has. But Canada just played a really tight defensive game. They just didn't make mistakes. They just played really hard. And then the U.S. couldn't really crack them. And then they got this one just really, really fortunate penalty where the girl from the U.S. is going back just to get an innocuous ball. They're kind of playing the ball back, and she's just leisurely going back to get it. Mm-hmm. And this Canadian player, she's like a rocket. She comes out of nowhere just to challenge for the ball.
Yeah.
And the American didn't see her coming, and so the American's just going to give it a boot back into play.
A boot? And
when she's booting it, the Canadian comes in out of nowhere, and she's challenging for the ball too.
Right. And
the follow through, the American didn't even see the Canadian. She wasn't doing it on purpose, but she just kind of went to kick it and kicked the Canadian. The Canadian went ass over tea kettle, and then it was right in the corner where the penalty box was or whatever.
Right.
And so it was a penalty kick, and this girl from London buried it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really good, and they just had to because at the 60-minute mark, they made 3 substitutions. The Americans did. Mm-hmm. And it was three of their they're the 3 best players from their soccer teams from the past. It's they bring out the all-stars,
the ringers.
The ringers, We're Canada's fucked. You're watching it, you're Canada's fucked. Anyways, so the stories, but they did it. It was awesome.
So you think we're gonna have a Cinderella story victory, or is Sweden are we gonna get thumped?
Well, I do think that for Canada to win, it would be a bit of a Cinderella story. I do think we're still the underdogs in the final.
Be a nice Olympic story, though.
But we did it against the United States already.
Yep.
And there's no reason why we can't do it again against Sweden.
Well, I hope they didn't blow their load.
But yeah, that's the thing. I hope it didn't blow their load exactly. Maybe they're out partying their asses off last night and stuff like that.
That was their gold medal game.
That was their gold medal, just beating the Americans. Yeah. The Americans, I bet you won't even get bronze. Because that's the American thing.
Give up, right?
Yeah, if you don't get gold, fuck it.
Who cares?
They don't care. They just give up. They do the same thing in every tournament. It seems the Americans don't get to play for gold. They're playing for silver If they're playing for bronze, I mean, they just like
no bother.
they don't bother. Russians too. Russians give up too if they're playing for bronze.
Russian machine don't break.
Also, if Russia, in my opinion, at least in hockey, if the momentum switches, they fucking crumble.
Yeah.
They're mentally weak.
Win or none.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to put right. I know we have Russian listeners.
We do?
Yeah, we actually do. We get about 4 a month.
The internet's going to be shut off.
They will not like that comment.
No.
But I do see it as that the Russians were Canadians. When you watch a Canadian team play, not just hockey, but in soccer, and if you're watching a Canadian that's like in track even, if a Canadian in anything, they don't give up.
As long as there's a chance, right?
Yeah, they just keep going. Like even if they're behind, if they're like late, they come on late. You know, I find that's a lot of smaller countries are like that. Like in the girls' 200 meter today, the women's 200 meter.
Yeah.
There was it was a great race. The same one that won the 100 won the 200, and the one girl I was picking to win, she got 4th because this girl Gabby Thomas, who's gorgeous, she got bronze.
That sounds like an American name.
Yeah, it's very American. Yeah, she's like a super tall, skinny, good-looking black girl, and then this girl from the Bahrain. No. I think it's Bahrain or something. Or Nambia. Nambia. That's where it was. Nambia.
Big country.
This girl from Nambia just comes out of nowhere, you know, and just blasts to the front. If it was 210 meters that race, she would have won the whole thing. But the girl came from out of nowhere.
She just needed a little bit more time.
Yeah, and that's because she's from a nobody country, and she was going to give everything she had. Like, she was just giving her shit at the end.
Nothing to lose.
And that's... So that's pretty good. What I noticed is that in the racing, it's starting to become a lot more parity. You're starting to see a lot of parity. But where it really lines up, where all the races kind of like are equal, is at about the 800 meters. 800 or 400 meters. 400 meters, I think it's like, you got an Asian, you got a white guy, you got a black guy. They're all like gonna win. They can win.
Anybody's game.
Yeah. You go into too long, then you're into the Kenyans and the Ethiopians.
Like
you know,
marathon.
You're not going to be able to touch those guys, eh? Those countries are going to walk away. The sprinters, you're talking Americans and Jamaicans. You know, those are countries that are going to get it. You got ping pong, you got badminton. You're going to talk with your heavily Asian countries in those.
Yeah.
You got, you got equestrian. That's a very white sport.
Right.
You got sailing. That's a very white sport.
That's a privilege to become a sailor.
Yachting. That's a white sport.
Yep.
Kayaking. Again, white. Canoeing. White.
Yeah, I would say that.
There's Asian teams, though, in the kayaking.
Yeah?
They were quite good, yep. China.
Do they have like a whitewater rapid course? Yeah.
Sounds white. That sounds like a white sport to me. Swimming, white.
Yep.
All water sports, really.
Water polo sounds like a white sport.
Water polo sounds white, you know?
Yep.
But diving is more acrobatic, and therefore you'll get more of a mix. The Asians come in there. It's not just white anymore for diving.
Right.
Now you got the Spanish. You got a little bit of variation as soon as you get to start flipping.
Is there still like weightlifting and wrestling?
Yeah, there's weightlifting and wrestling, but I don't think those are have any distinction because of race.
Yeah, it's more of a weight class thing, though.
Weight class, yeah, but anyone's got a shot there.
Right.
I'm just thinking of like the
shot put
and all that stuff.
Discus
seems that's very white.
I'm gonna say pole vaulting sounds like a very white sport.
Yeah, very white for sure.
You know,
pole vaulting is white. High jump, for that matter, is pretty white, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wouldn't think there'd be some black guys with ups. You know,
field hockey.
You ever see like a Chinese guy or like a Vietnamese guy? You ever see them like try to spike a volleyball? They're fucking jumping right over the net. They have good ups.
Incredible, yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. Volleyball's good parody too. What'd you say? Shooting.
Field hockey, shooting. Oh, that's a winter sport where they ski and then shoot. But that's
I just had like a marksmanship or whatever,
right.
And it was
you think
they were wearing like lead outfits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one Russian guy, and they have like a thing that comes down over the one eye because they want to blacken the eye out so it looks like they have an eye patch.
RoboCop.
And they have like these leather, and like the Chinese guy had a red one, the red leather, and the Russian guy had a red one, and someone has a blue one for their country or whatever.
Right.
They all look like fucking RoboCop, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Russian guy looked fucking definitely like a supervillain.
Right out of a James Bond movie.
Yeah. Anyways, I love the stories. I cry for all of them. You know, like I've been crying for the Olympics. I don't know because I'm old and emotional now. But anyways, so I'm enjoying the hell of the Olympics.
Is there a UN team? I heard this year too.
Huh?
There's like a UN team. Like, I thought I read today. Like, there's a team where it's all like they're all from different countries, but they're representing people who are in smaller countries that shouldn't.
Oh yeah, because there's also like Russia can't have a team. But they have the people of Russia or something have a team because Russia was banned. Oh. But you can't ban the people who didn't cheat, so they just ban the country. So that's like they call it the ROC or something.
What do you think about like an all steroid Olympics?
I'm all for it. I don't have a problem with it. You know, this is a serious thing though. I think that the Paralympics. And I saw Michelle Petitclerc, who is like, I think that's her name. She spoke at one of my work functions, right. And she's a 5-time gold medalist for the 100-meter wheelchair race, and 5-time gold medalist. 5 times in a row. Like it's amazing. And she went and told her story. It was so enthralling, her story. You know. That I think that Paralympics shouldn't be a separate thing. I think they should have the 100-meter wheelchair like right after the 100-meter.
Yeah. If you really want to be inclusive, that's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it, and it's not like these guys aren't training the same as the 100-meter.
Right.
And like it's hardcore, man. It's like really a big deal. Global, you're trying to be the best in the world.
Yeah.
And they're fucking with each other mentally. They're trying to get in each other's heads and like doing all these things. It's like. I want to see this alongside everybody else, you know?
That's a good point.
And I don't want to see it as separate games, you know?
I honestly have never watched it.
Because it belittles a lot of these athletes. I think I'd rather watch the blind, like gold ball. They have this thing gold ball in the Paralympics. It's for blind people. And if you're not blind, you can still play, but you got to blindfold yourself. And it's like a ball with a bell in it, and they chuck it around. You got to catch it by sound. So I think if you're not really blind, you're going to suck at it. Because your hearing's not going to be very, as good. But anyways, that's what I think about Paralympics. But I wanted to say this. I'm enjoying the hell of the Olympics. I love it. I mean, I'm just enjoying every minute of it. And then I go to my brother's, and I'm talking to my brother about the Olympics, how much I like it. And he says to me, you know what? I don't like it. He goes, no one. He says, no one has big tits. Not one athlete has big tits. He's going like, there's a lot of nice legs. I'll give you that, he says.
Sure.
There's a lot of nice asses. But I'm not a leg and ass man.
He wants boobs.
I'm a boob man, he says. He goes, I'm a breast man. And I go, and you know, if you look at his wife, she is a very slender woman with enormous tits, you know?
Yeah.
So like he likes what he likes. And he's not seen at the Olympics, right?
I didn't know that was a criteria for tuning in, but
he goes, I thought even some of the throwing events you'd see, you know, some of these big girls with big, huge tits that could just like wing those big milkers around when they're trying to chuck a discus or something like that.
Right.
And he goes, nope. Boxy shoulders and beanbag tits, you know, like just little beanbag tits. He's like, he's not happy with it at all.
Against the
He goes, I think it's body fat. I think you train so much and you lose the weight in your tits first. That's what he's saying. And I'm like, and then all of my female, I live with a bunch of women, eh?
Right.
They all said, no, it's like a lot of it's, some of those girls probably have big boobs, but they're strapping them down. Like, you got to compete, so you're like going to have to wear like a pretty thick, like sports bra to keep those things under control.
Yeah.
And I think there is something to that. But a lot of them, but there's a lot of very skinny women because they're like working out all the time and they don't have boobs. But I'm not a boob guy.
No, I'm a total butt guy.
You are too?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a butt guy. So to me, the Olympics is like a dream.
Yeah.
And I've never in, like, until my brother had mentioned it, I never had once thought about the girls not having big boobs.
At the Olympics, yeah.
I've looked at their numbers, I've looked at their face, but mostly I'm looking at their country, and then I'm listening to the story. I'm watching the story unfold. I'm getting into the drama. But then as soon as I leave my brother's house,
now you're sexualizing the Olympics.
Yeah, now I'm looking at the Olympics and I'm checking out everyone's tits and I'm trying to find one girl. I did find a Canadian javelin thrower, I think.
Right.
Who looked like, and now I was saying if those are strapped down boobs, they're probably pretty big.
Right.
And I was saying there was a Canadian javelin thrower. It looked like she might have had a good rack. But I'm ashamed of myself. I'm ashamed of myself for even thinking that way. But my brother's done that to me. He's put it in my head, and now I'm watching the Olympics, and before like a big race, I'm like checking everyone's rack out.
I mean, you can feel ashamed, or we can just blame your brother.
Yeah, it's my brother's fault.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't see why I wouldn't complain anyway. There's a lot of very attractive women in the Olympics.
Absolutely.
Very attractive women in the Olympics. I can't even.
Nice in shape girls.
It's unbelievable how many beautiful women.
And talented.
Yeah.
Good at what they do.
Yeah. I'll tell you, but way too young for me. Some sports you peak at like as a child.
Like
you
gymnastics, peak at right?
Well, skateboarding.
Oh, it's a sport now.
Skateboarding's a sport this year. They got I was watching the highlights and they were like, here's this 21-year-old, and then she comes out and just eats shit and looks garbage. Oh. And then they're like, here, and then come the teenagers, and then there's a 16-year-old comes out, she's great, and then the podium is 3 13-year-old girls.
Wow.
And they're all like phenoms. They're landing tricks that no one else could do. So I think that's because when you're skateboarding, or gymnastics for that matter, you are doing things that are stupid. Like they're really dumb, and you're probably going to get hurt.
Yeah, but
in order to be able to do those things, you're going to get hurt. And when you're young, you can recover easy,
and you're not as scared.
And so you're not scared because like even if I get hurt, I'll fix myself quickly. But when you're like 20, then it starts to become real, and then the fear starts to kick in.
Yeah, like I couldn't picture taking up skateboarding at my age right now.
No, it's ridiculous.
I didn't want to stand on one.
No, I don't want to either.
No.
A longboard I might do.
I actually thought about rollerblades the other day, but even that, I'm like, I'd be the nerd with the knee pads and the gloves.
Yeah, those gloves are a good idea.
Because of fall.
Those wrist guards?
Yeah.
They'll really fuck you up, man.
Yep.
My wife is actually a rollerblading enthusiast.
Oh, yes?
Yes. She loves rollerblading. Mm-hmm. She really does. And
does she wear the guards?
Yeah, I don't know. She's inconsistent with her safety gear.
Okay.
But what she does is she likes to go very fast and play her music. She puts her phone in a pocket in her stretchy pants, and then she plays her music loudly.
God bless Lululemon.
And then she rollerblades through our subdivision with her late 90s, early 2000s pop music playlist.
So she wouldn't be hearing a car coming.
No, she would, though, because it's not in headphones.
Oh.
It's playing out of her pants so that the whole community can hear her song choices.
This is what your lovely wife likes to listen to.
That's her exercise routine. That's what she likes to do. But she loves rollerblading, but she goes so fast. I've went out with her before because I do have a pair of rollerblades.
Yeah,
and she goes so fast, and it's like she hits stones all the time and then eat shit.
Oh, wow.
And then all it takes is one stone on a road. How often are you going to run into a stone on the road?
Often.
All the time.
Yep.
So that's what I mean. Like, I don't go as fast as she goes. She goes balls out. And most of the time she doesn't crash, but she does crash once in a while, and it's always, like, pretty, like, ugly.
Yeah.
I'm like, you still got to go to work.
Yeah, you got to.
Someone's got to get paid around here.
You're following around a mattress.
I got Jen Husko, and that's it.
That's it. Wait. Hopefully she stays happy. 110.
Yeah, I don't forget where I was going with that. Anyways, yeah, there's so big tits at the Olympics. If anyone out there is watching the Olympics and sees a sport with huge guns where huge boobs are an advantage, please let me know at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com.
Yeah, there was volleyball controversy I heard this year too.
Oh, what was that?
One team didn't want to wear, the girls' team didn't want to wear short.
Oh yeah,
short knickers.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah.
Which I think it was like Sweden or something. They didn't want to wear the bathing suit bottoms because they were a little too hoary.
Right.
Which I have a daughter that actually plays beach volleyball.
Yeah.
And she does wear shorts because the same reason. She says, like, I'm not fucking wearing with half my ass hanging out. And I've never complained. I'm like, yeah, do whatever you want. You shouldn't have to be. Yeah. And the boys are playing. They're not wearing it. They're not wearing like fucking Speedos or whatever. So what's the deal? And for them to enforce that they had to wear, like, how does that affect play at all?
Yeah, I don't get it.
That's just them selling sex. You know?
Absolutely. I bet you it's probably one of the more popular sports, right? Like
huge. It's one of the biggest draws at the Olympics. Yeah,
it's like hockey at winter.
Yeah, beach volleyball, and it's women's beach volleyball. They're not watching men's beach volleyball. No. They're watching women's beach volleyball. And Canada's got a really good team, eh?
Yeah.
They got this one team. They have a girl. She's like 1 million feet tall. Like, I'm pretty sure it's like 1 million feet tall.
I'm not good with numbers, so I'll agree.
Very tall.
Yep.
The weirdest part about her is the part from just under her tits to the top of her vagina.
Right.
That is 1.5 miles.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how tall she is. That part of her body is very long.
Does she have tree trunk strong legs that allow her to leap?
No, she doesn't have to leap at all, I don't think, because she's so tall.
Oh, okay.
Like, she just elbows and assholes. Like, just very gangly, like, long woman. And then her partner is a small girl, I think Italian girl from Toronto.
Super fast.
And she's just everywhere. Yeah. She's just everywhere, and she's steady Eddie, and she's always got it. Mm-hmm. But the big girl, and I call her big, she's super skinny, but like the big tall girl.
Very tall, yep.
She is just blocks at the net, and she's got real long arms, so her arms go everywhere, and she's a full-time blocker. And then the other girls just pretty much gets everything.
just running.
Yeah, and they don't lose.
No.
They're ranked number 1, and they are really good.
I don't know. I just think they should wear whatever they want, honestly.
Yeah, damn right.
If you don't want to wear the bikini bottoms, good for you. Just wear shorts.
If those girls are wearing shorts too, they're still super hot.
Oh my goodness!
It's not like I'm going to stop watching. It's still good. Plus, I like the sport too. It's actually a good sport.
Yeah, it's at least exciting to watch.
Yeah, it's fun to play too. And when you're going to bring your kids around to a sport, you know, like beach volleyball is a pretty good one to bring your kids around to.
Yeah.
We did it one summer with my one daughter, and it was nice. Instead of going to cold hockey rinks or whatever, you're going to different beaches and putting out a cooler. And,
tough gig.
Yeah. I got to watch my kid sports, you know.
I'm just going to drink beer.
Yeah. It was cool, and we got to go to beaches we wouldn't ordinarily go to.
Yeah. That beats driving on a snowstorm.
Oh, yeah. If I knew that when I was 16, if you were 16 and you knew, like we made our own volleyball net, and we bring it to Turkey Point Beach and play. But if I knew there was a league.
Oh, I'd be in.
And because it's like, it's 80% women that play. And there's maybe 1 or 2 boys teams in the corner, like teenage boys that play. I'm like, if I was a teenage boy, this is heaven. This is Shangri-La.
Yeah, man.
You know, I would be here. I would be doing the circuit. It would be the best thing in my life.
We should probably get a co-ed team going.
Yeah. If I would, because I am like a co-ed team, eh? Yeah. No.
Nope.
I don't want a liability. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm sorry. My wife's a better volleyball player than I am.
Is she? Yeah.
She played organized volleyball, and I did not. I only played beach with my friends on a net that we made of a tire rim and old fence posts. And so she would play like adult league competitive, and I could only play adult league rec. And then so she was invited to play competitive, and then I'd have to like only be invited if she was invited to a rec tournament, right?
Yep.
And then eventually I worked my way up.
You practiced
till I was able to prove to her that I could play in a competitive situation.
Right.
You know? And I actually was quite proud of it, but she was way better. She's way better than me at it, or because she played organized stuff. I never did.
Right.
But I got to tell you, she beats me at everything. She beats me at when we started dating. Even we went on a date one time. She went bowling. She beat me at bowling. Then we went to play pool after. She beat me at pool. And then I said, why don't we play darts? She threw one dart. She hits the bullseye. I'm like, fuck it. You're out. I'm not playing with you.
She got a high compete level?
Yeah, she's very, very competitive. And then she starts like this. She's very talented, too. Like, so she's hard to beat. This is how she starts. We used to play tennis all the time when we first got married. And we'd play tennis. And I would start winning, you know. And then she'd say to me, she'd go, oh, my leg is hurt, and I didn't warm up, and I didn't do this right, and I'm, all these things, excuses why she's not winning. And then I start to think like I'm being a little bit unfair because she's a tiny little girl, and I'm a big boy, right? So then I'm thinking, and then I let my guard down a little bit, and then she demolishes me.
Just crushes,
and I lose. And then this happens for decades, it happens for decades.
Yep.
So I know it's going to happen. I know she's going to do this to me, right? So now when I play her, I don't ease up. I'm playing competitive the whole time, and I still lose. And so my wife this year got into pickleball. Have you ever played pickleball?
Nope.
So pickleball is like tennis, but it's like tennis for fat people or something, right?
Oh, I'd be good at pickleball.
Maybe. But I don't know. The way my wife plays, she makes us work. Like it was a super workout, but she's making me run all over the place. So anyways, we played a couple times, and she's won. But this time, we played just yesterday. And I'm telling you, I think she might have been letting me win because she was having some unforced errors. Mm-hmm. She never has unforced errors. I usually have unforced errors. This time, no unforced errors.
Right.
The stars were aligning. Yeah, everything's going well. And I'm happy to say, after, I don't know, maybe 20 years, I fucking beat that woman in pickleball.
Nice.
I beat her good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I couldn't even believe it. I came home bragging, flexing for my kids, just really rubbing it in.
Right.
I don't know if I've ever beat her. One time I remember I lost so much to her, I had to challenge her to a 100-meter dash.
Did you win or she beat you?
No, I beat her in the 100-meter dash.
Good.
Because she's small. She can't keep
her legs are shorter?
Yeah, I can beat her in basketball, too. I could, because I'll dominate her physically. Yeah. But in anything where you can't, just be a bully, then she's going to win.
She's got you in the skills?
Yeah. Skills and smarts.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about your wife?
I don't know.
If you and your wife had to do bowling, went bowling, who'd win?
I think I'd beat her at first till she she thought about it. And at first she'd be like, oh, whatever, I don't give a shit about this game. And then once I beat her a couple times and rubbed it in, she'd probably beat me.
Then when she concentrates on it, she's
like, all right, I'm gonna fuck you up.
So your wife has more ability to be talented than you do? Is that what you're saying?
I believe so.
Yeah.
It's just whatever they're interested in, they seem to be good at.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks, right? I think they're just better than we are.
They're smarter.
I think women in general.
I think they're smarter.
You think women are smarter than men?
Yeah, I do. Well,
it makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, the old way of thinking was men are smarter than women because our brains are bigger and it's natural.
Yeah.
Right? I got more brains.
You got a bigger head.
Because I got a bigger head.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely smarter.
I think it just means there's more space not being used.
Yeah, maybe. I think that's probably true. But now it seems clear that women are smarter because they needed their cunning in order to survive.
Yeah.
Right? Where we don't really need cunning. We can just go with brawn to survive, right?
And I think they just had to work so much harder to be able to do anything that we were just allowed to do. You know, like work-wise or whatever. Like, it was a man's world for a long time, and they had to actually, things that we got away with, they got to do. Like, they had to work hard to do.
They ruined everything, though.
Yeah.
Don't you think? This one's for the ladies out there. I think that this is what happened. This is what I think happened. The world was running, and men were going to work every day, and then they were drinking at lunch, and they were, like, going to the strip club after work for a little bit, and then they were coming home, you know?
Yeah.
And they were having a fucking blast, right? And then all of a sudden, women started entering the workplace, and men are like, what's going on here? This is the craziest idea ever. We're just going to be fucking them all the time. What are you, crazy? I got work to do.
Right.
You know? And then they actually did that for a while when the women started. They would just like be like sexually harassing them and trying to bang them and doing all this stuff.
Yep.
And then eventually they were able to be smartened up by the women, who then went to work. They thought they were going to work, you know? And so they went to work, and they weren't like fucking around going to lunch and drinking anymore, and they weren't like going to strip clubs, and meetings were like about work, and the time you were spending at the office was for work.
Right.
And then when you went home, you know, like you couldn't like lie to your wife about what work was like, because she knows what work is like.
Yeah, or she was working, or her friend was.
Yeah. Someone's going to tell her that they're not really working as hard as you think they are. Half the time they're fucking around, hitting on their secretaries, and you know, golfing with their buddy who just happens to be like a contact, like a sales call for them or whatever. But it's really just a guy they went to college with. Yeah. And then that's what most of the workplace was. And when women came, they actually had this vision of what the workplace was from the stories they were hearing from the man coming home, which was complete horseshit.
He's exhausted.
He's exhausted because it was such hard work. But now he's drunk from drinking at lunch. Yeah. And he's tired from drinking at lunch. That's really the truth. And then they came and actually did the work. And now the men have to actually go to work and do the actual work. Yeah. And it's not as much fun. And so you ruined it, women. You ruined it.
Yep.
You could have just came to the strip club with us.
Nobody would complain.
We could all be drinking at lunch now.
Yeah.
But no, we're all working hard.
I guess we didn't let them in on the secret when they came in. Like, hey, nobody has to work hard.
Well, if we weren't trying, we were bad back then. Eh? Men were bad.
We were.
We got by with violence for a long time.
Or the threat of it.
Yeah. And they took it away from us, and then we lost consistently ever since.
Yeah, because they're smarter.
Yeah, you can't. Once you take away the ability to just like slap a bitch, you got pretty much nothing.
They walked in and they were like, okay, so all I got to do is work a little bit and outsmart these guys, and we're gonna run it.
Yeah. And
eventually it happened.
Yeah, it's easy. They were going against somebody that they were overmatched for.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I'm happy. I have 2 girls, and I have no men in my life other than me.
Right.
You know, so I have no dog in the game.
Yep.
Right. So I'm willing to jump ship off the male ship onto the team female, because I think they're going to win.
I think they're going to win too.
So I'm just going to be begging for mercy here and just supporting my girls, hoping they'll like give me some sort of like reprieve until I die of natural causes.
They'll put you in the good rest home.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
I think the men will be shipped to either the jerk off plant or the heavy lifting plant. You know.
Yeah.
And you'll be telling your son in the future, be going like. You better do your homework, kid, or you're going to be sent to the heavy lifting plant, breaking your back. Yep. And, you could be like your cousin who was did his homework, and now he's in the old jerk-off plant getting, like, some robot to fucking milk the cum off of him 3 times a day, and that's a pretty good life.
Yep.
Beats being an accountant.
Do your homework.
Which all the women are accountants now, because they're smarter. The men aren't smart enough. We're just lifting and sperm donation.
Yeah, maybe driving.
Robots will drive.
Good point.
Yeah, and apparently women drive too now.
Do they?
I know it's a crazy world. Yep. This has kind of turned out to be a chauvinistic show.
Yeah.
Do you think?
I don't know. I think we're on their side.
We talked about there's the big tits thing. That's more my brother.
Can you imagine though if like a girl, your wife was like, "There's just not enough cock." Like I don't see enough big cocks at the Olympics.
Well, just to be fair, I was watching some of the sprinters, and you can see their dicks pretty clearly.
Yeah.
And you can see like some of these guys, they got like hogs that are like
They're packing.
Yeah, like you can see them snaking down the one side, and then you're like, what the hell? This guy's just about to race. You figure he's going to be like nervous and it's going to be all sucked up. But it's like
all show.
Yeah, I don't even know. Some of it's like, holy fuck, man! This guy's got a big half of a baby's arm.
No Joe Batello's like in the tights.
No, there is guys like that too, which is understandable. Those guys full credit. Like, I mean, you got to race. You're nervous, man.
Yep.
But like even the Canadian guy, that Andre DeGrasse, man, like he's got he's got a weapon hanging there.
Packing,
yeah, he's got some swagger. That's part of it, eh? So like, I mean, so I was watching it with my wife and commenting on their hogs all the time, getting her to look at him,
right?
Say, look at that guy, he's a fucking monster there, you know. Like there's one guy, I forget where he was from there, but goddamn, fucking frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it had some sort of an elbow in it.
Maybe a nail at the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So the Olympics.
Athletic, Olympic, and a big piece.
Huh?
Like athletic at the Olympics with a big piece.
Yeah.
Good bravo for them.
Yeah. That's and then all these like hot women. I guess it's a fuck fest over there, eh? The athletes, like every time they have athlete villages or whatever, apparently they're all just banging each other.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of tension, and then your event's over. What do you do?
Yeah, you got people from all over the world that are your age that are all in great shape, and
it's a bunch of beautiful people.
Yeah, they're just. Of course, you're gonna fuck.
Yeah, be crazy not to.
Yeah, one time I did a corporate gig at like a Narcotics Anonymous. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I got there, I walked in the conference center, and like, you just got a feeling
there's sexual tension in the air.
Yeah, that everybody's here to fuck. Like, it just had that kind of vibe. And then you realize it's a Narcotics Anonymous convention, right?
Yeah.
So you can't do drugs.
Probably can't.
You can't drink.
Yeah.
So all they're doing is like smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee, and then
staring at each other, getting horny.
And then fucking, those are the things you can do if you gotta like escape, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they do. It was a horny environment.
Yeah.
And I asked the guy who worked the gig before, I was kind of like, is everyone fucking here? Like, it seems like a horny place, this place, you know? And he's like, oh yeah, people are fucking like that. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah. Nobody cares about
Great audience, though.
Yeah.
Great audience. Best. They were the best because they came. There's no rowdy drunks to deal with, and they were looking for something to do. So it was like they came to have a good time and
to laugh. Yeah,
it was awesome, and they were a great audience. I loved that was one of my favorite gigs I ever did. Anyways, we should probably do a segment called feedback. We got feedback. We got feedback. It's feedback. Hey, welcome to feedback. We got feedback. We're going to do the ads here. This week's segment is brought to you by our friends at Amazon. Go to the Live from the Dutch Hall website, or the Dutch Hall website. Go to livefromthedutchhall.com. And you'll see our Amazon banner there. Just click on it and do your shopping, and then we get some of that money. And then we'll add that to the pile, the pile of money that we're going to just eventually swim in like Scrooge McDuck.
Can't wait.
And we talked about Patreon already, and then BetterHelp. If you're having trouble and you need somebody to talk to, if you have anything in your life that you're struggling with, that you feel like you can improve yourself, go give BetterHelp a try. You can go to betterhelp.com/Dutch Hall, and I'll tell you, BetterHelp, they're good. They've been a good source of help. If they'll connect you with a counselor in 48 hours, you'll be connected with a counselor. It's not a self-help line. It's not a crisis line. It's just professional counseling done discreetly. It's available internationally. It's cheaper than offline counseling. Blah, blah. Go to betterhelp.com/Dutch Hall, and Dutch Hall listeners will get 10% off their first month. That's, again, betterhelp.com/Dutch Hall. And that's it for our ads. And if you'd like to give us some feedback, please do it. Go to livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com. Give us an email there, or you can go to thedutchhall@gmail.com, or you can go to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. Tell us what you think of the show. Tell us what you'd like to see, and we will put it in. And that is everything. That is everything that I can possibly say. So we've been we haven't really got any feedback. It's summertime.
Yeah, I think people are doing summer shit. And plus, we're coming out of a pandemic.
Yeah. And I saw that we were just watching Lollapalooza before this. It was like on the weekend, and it's like there are no masks, like full Grant Park full of people, just like
gigantic concert.
Yeah, like a regular concert again. And I don't know.
Old footage, honestly. When I came in, I thought it was something old.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It's from this weekend, like a real concert. So like I don't know if this is like if this is where we're headed here, because we're not there in Canada yet, right?
No, I don't think so. But
can we we couldn't go to a concert right now, but man, I'm dying to do it.
Things got to start booking.
Not even any masks though at the concert.
No.
Do you feel comfortable with that?
I don't know. It's irresponsible to say I'm double vaccinated, so I feel okay for myself, but I guess I can still get it and spread it.
Yeah, I haven't checked out. Maybe they had to be vaccinated to be in there, or like to get a ticket, or do they do that shit anymore? Or is that's probably against? But I think if you're not vaxxed, are you the one that's taking the risk? I don't even want to talk about this shit anymore.
No, I get where you're coming from though, and I
agree. I don't care. I'm double vaxxed too, so like.
I feel like I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, like let me go and let me go and enjoy life now.
Yep.
You're starting to see some people getting like the odd, people having colds again and stuff.
Yeah.
Where people just
sniffles.
Yeah, like sniffles and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like nice to see, like because you're not like freaking out as much if you hear a person cough.
Yeah, you don't feel like a pariah when you do cough either.
Yeah. Well, I did, yeah. If you felt a little tickle in your throat, you're like, I'm going to fucking go to my car to do this.
I'm going to cough. It's like like you don't want to fart walking down an aisle of a grocery store or something like that.
Yeah, you figure the mob could kill you if you coughed, right. At one point in time. Anyways, like, seeing people at a fucking real rock show makes me, like, it's weird, but it's like, it makes me a little excited that it might be happening sooner than later.
Yeah, for you, comedy too's got to start going.
Even now, the shows that are happening are doing way better than they normally do in the summer.
Oh.
Most of them are selling out. Like, people have an appetite to do anything, like just to go somewhere and do something. So, if you are looking for entertainment, I'm trying to get booked right now. So, if we can bring a show to you, that's for sure. There's a lot of we're just trying to book up for the fall now. So, but the shows I've been doing have been great. Yeah. Actually, the ones that I've been lucky enough to do have been pretty good, and
big crowds, like as far as they can, as big as the crowd they can have, it's pretty full.
Yeah. Like selling out of the capacity they allow you. A lot of the shows in the clubs at least are selling out, and So I'm hoping it's a thing. It's a sign of things to come. And a lot of the outdoor shows are doing well too. Like that's one thing I think will stay after the pandemic, like an outdoor comedy show. I don't mind an outdoor comedy show. What I hate is when I have to do a comedy show in front of like the one I just did. It was an open mic, but they put up these. It's basically like a picture frame of like plexiglass that they put in front of you. They hang it from the ceiling,
right?
And you just gotta talk in front of the plexiglass,
right? But
the last open mic I did, like the nearest person was fucking 20 yards away or something, you know?
Why the plexiglass?
So, like, if there was someone, like, right in front of the plexiglass, I get it, but...
Yeah.
So then I just did my whole set, like, beside it.
So you could hear.
So there was no barrier between me and the audience. Because otherwise you feel like there's a wall between you, like you're... And it's like... it is something about, like... Even if it's like plexiglass and you can see right through it, it's still like something between you and the other person you're trying to have a connection with.
It's almost like they're watching on TV.
Yeah,
like Dance Monkey. Like you're like a...
Yeah, like looking at you at the zoo.
Yeah. So I'm on sleepy.
Yeah, I haven't been sleeping very good. I only sleep... I get like every few days I'll just like...
a good one?
No, I won't never have a good sleep, but every few days I have like horrible pain, and I can't explain it, and then that will make for a bad sleep. Yeah. And last night was one of those. So I'm a little bit yawny for this one.
Well.
Anyways, I think what we did, Kevin, was we came here, we talked titties in the Olympics.
Yep.
What else did we talk about? We talked about
a little bit of women's issues.
Oh yeah. Women ruined the workplace.
Yeah. Because
it used to be way more fun when we didn't have to worry about you and we could lie about how hard we work.
We did think they were smarter.
We said when we were smarter. Yeah. So I think we made some pretty strong statements here. We've given the audience a lot to chew on, a lot of things to think about, a lot of things to potentially formulate an email at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com. Give us some feedback. And, I think once we've done all these things, Kevin, there's not much more we can do.
No, I think we should just play us out.
Well, before we do that, I like to say it to my audience one thing.
Yes.
And I like to tell them, you know what, my sweet, sweet audience? My beautiful, beautiful... I got to talk right to camera here. Hello, you sweet, sweet audience. I will see you next Thursday, bitches. Hit it!
Nice.
We're playing everything. Hit them all.